They told me I wasn't aesthetic enough to be in the wedding. Not thin enough. Not beige enough. Not brand enough. I laughed, but inside, I broke. Nia Carter scrolls through her phone, replaying the message over and over. The group chat bubbles with pastel emojis, vision boards, and influencer selfies. Brielle's wedding had always been their shared dream, back when love felt like loyalty. But now, that dream had been filtered and rebranded. Nia's mother, Tanya, calls from the kitchen, her gospel playlist humming low. "You gonna let them steal your shine, baby," she says. Nia bites her lip, staring into the cracked screen, tears mixing with defiance. "Nah, mama," she whispers. "I'm about to design something they can't even afford to look at." She doesn't know yet, but this moment will change her entire life, and the way the world defines beauty. The next morning, the city hums outside as Nia flips through old sketches, each one more ambitious than the last. Her mother's voice lingers in her head. "Don't you ever shrink to fit nobody's frame." The insult still stings. But something stronger burns underneath, an idea forming like fire. She imagines walking into that wedding not as a bridesmaid, but as a statement. The old machine clatters to life, the rhythm syncing with her heartbeat. She threads a needle, remembering her childhood. Tanya teaching her to sew straight lines, to fix tears, to turn scraps into beauty. Now, Nia plans to turn rejection into a runway. Later that day, Brielle's Instagram story floods Nia's feed. Pastel bridesmaids giggling over champagne. Captioned, #aesthetic crew. It's all curated perfection. Nia laughs bitterly and takes a photo of her own, her rough sketches beside a chipped coffee mug. "My kind of aesthetic," she captions and posts it without thinking. Hours later, the likes pour in and a comment stands out. "This design goes hard. Do you sell?" A stranger's validation sparks something new. That night, Khalil stops by. His camera slung around his neck, he leans in the doorway watching her sew. "They really told you that?" he asks. "Yeah," she replies, not looking up. "So what you gonna do?" Yes, smirks. "I'm gonna make aesthetic mean something real." He smiles, slow, proud, and takes a photo. The flash captures her surrounded by light and fabric, a woman reclaiming her worth. As the night deepens, the hum of the machine becomes music. Nia's fingers move faster, guided by memory and emotion. She doesn't sketch anymore. She just creates. Every stitch tells the story of a girl who was told she didn't fit, but she's stitching herself into the frame anyway. Outside, rain begins to fall softly, like applause from the universe. Morning light breaks through the blinds, painting the small apartment in streaks of gold and shadow. Nia wakes up at her sewing table, slumped over her latest creation, a half-finished gown of deep emerald satin. The night's exhaustion still clings to her bones, but something powerful hums beneath her fatigue. Purpose. Tanya steps in quietly with 2 cups of coffee. "You didn't sleep again, huh?" Nia lifts her head, her eyes red, but alive. "Mama, I think I got it. I think I found the one." Tanya studies the unfinished dress, tracing her fingers across the delicate stitches. "It's bold, baby. Ain't for the faint of heart." Nia smiles faintly. "Either am I." The day unfolds quietly, but with an electric undercurrent. Nia pins patterns to her mannequin, humming to herself. Every movement feels intentional, rhythmic, like prayer in motion. She remembers her childhood Saturdays, sitting on the floor while Tanya worked on church dresses, the radio playing old Anita Baker. Those moments shaped her. She knows now. She's not just sewing a dress. She's stitching generations of women into fabric. When Tanya looks over, pride gleams in her eyes. "Girl, your grandma would have cried if she saw this." Nia chuckles softly. Then I'm sowing tears into beauty. Later that evening, Khalil stops by again, camera in hand. You still at it, he teases, snapping candid shots as she sews. Don't start, Nia warns, smirking. You gonna make me look like a tired genius. He grins. If the shoe fits, the two share an unspoken energy, quiet and familiar. As the flash pops, Nia glances up. Something in his eyes lingers. Maybe it's love, or maybe admiration for someone finally becoming who she's meant to be. The next day, Nia decides to post a time-lapse of her sewing the gown. She writes, "They said I wasn't aesthetic enough, so I made my own aesthetic." Within hours, her notifications explode. Messages pour in from strangers, women of all shades, sizes, and stories, saying how her words hit home. Tanya watches from the kitchen, wiping away a tear. Baby, you ain't just making a dress. You making a movement. Night settles again, but the energy feels different. Alive. Purposeful. Nia stands before the mirror, holding the half-finished dress against her body. It shimmers, even under the dull lamp. She sees herself. Not what they told her she was, but who she's becoming. For the first time, she feels like her reflection fits. The mirror doesn't just show beauty, it shows evolution. She whispers, "Now this is aesthetic." The hum of the sewing machine fills the apartment like heartbeat and hymn. Nia moves with instinct now, measuring, cutting, stitching in rhythm, with gospel beats echoing from the small speaker by the window. Each thread pulls tighter the bond between past pain and present power. Tanya sits nearby, watching her daughter bloom in motion. "You look just like your grandma when she got in her zone," she says softly. Nia smiles without pausing her hands. "Guess it's in the blood." The emerald dress now shimmers with near completion, reflecting the sunlight and every ounce of Nia's defiance. The next morning, Khalil returns to document Nia's progress. "This one's different," he murmurs, adjusting his camera. "It's like you're sewing yourself into it." Nia chuckles. "Maybe I am." The flash captures more than a dress. It catches transformation. Khalil watches her carefully, the affection in his gaze quiet but strong. "You know this could go viral, right?" Nia shrugs. "I'm not doing it for that this time. I'm doing it for her." She points to her reflection in the mirror, the little girl who once thought she wasn't enough. By afternoon, the post-production is done. Khalil helps her film a short reel. Just Nia walking across her living room in the emerald gown, music swelling beneath her movements. When they hit upload, they don't expect much. But within hours, notifications pour in. Comments overflow. "This is art. Sis, you are the aesthetic. How do I buy this?" Tanya watches from the doorway, pride and disbelief mixing on her face. "You did that," she whispers. Nia exhales, tears welling, but this time they're made of joy. The reel hits 1,000 shares in less than a day. Messages flood her inbox. Local boutiques asking for designs, fashion students thanking her for representation, even strangers sending prayers. But one name makes her freeze. "Brielle Jones liked your video." Then another. Brielle Jones commented, "You look amazing." It's a compliment wrapped in irony, a reminder of what started it all. Nia doesn't reply. She just smiles to herself, whispering, "You should let me be your bridesmaid." Later that night, Nia stands by the window. City lights flickering below like applause. Her mind drifts, not to revenge, but to a rival. For years, she tried to shrink herself to fit other people's visions. Now, she's expanding beyond them. Tanya joins her, wrapping an arm around her shoulders. "You see what happens when you stop doubting the mirror?" she whispers. Nia leans in, smiling. "Yeah, Mama." I finally see her. Outside, a thundercloud rolls by. splitting open the sky with light, like destiny acknowledging its newest designer. The morning after the reel explodes, Nia wakes to a buzzing phone that won't quit. Her inbox overflows with interview requests, reposts, and comments. Overnight, she's become the face of self-made beauty. Tanya stands in the doorway, phone in hand. Baby, you on Essence's Explore page. Nia freezes mid-bite of cereal. She scrolls and sees her face beside the caption, "The designer who redefined aesthetic." She laughs through tears. Khalil calls, voice full of pride. "You viral, shorty." They finally see what I've been seeing. Nia looks at the gown on the mannequin and whispers, "Nah, I finally see it too." By afternoon, local boutique owner Renee Marks reaches out. "Girl, I saw your reel." Her message reads, "You got something special. Can we talk collaboration?" Nia stares at the message for a long minute, unsure whether to scream or cry. Tanya's already packing her bag with snacks, muttering, "We going downtown today." Hours later, they walk into a sleek fashion studio. White walls, racks of fabric, and possibility hanging in the air. Renee greets them with open arms. "Baby, the world's ready for what you got." That night, Nia and Renee talk designs over mood boards and iced coffee. "You know what I love about your work," Renee says. "It's not trying to fit in, it creates the fit." Nia laughs, scribbling notes and sketching fresh silhouettes inspired by her story. Khalil shows up, snapping behind-the-scenes photos. "I'm calling this aesthetic rebellion," he jokes. The three of them burst into laughter. For once, Nia feels surrounded not by critics, but collaborators. By the end of the week, Nia's designs flood social media. "This girl from the West End brought soul to culture." One headline reads. Comments multiply, brands reach out, and followers double overnight. Tanya watches her daughter handle it all with calm grace. "Don't forget who you are, baby," she reminds her. "Oh, I won't." Nia smiles. "I just upgraded my thread." The emerald gown becomes a symbol. Women everywhere reposting it under hashtags like #MyAesthetic2. That weekend, Brielle calls. The name flashes across Nia's phone like a ghost. She hesitates, then answers. "Hey, girl." Brielle's voice oozes sugary politeness. "Listen, I just wanted to say, that dress you made, it's like everything." A pause. "Actually, I was wondering if you could make me one for the rehearsal dinner." Nia's lips curl into a small, knowing smile. "Sure, Brielle, but it won't come cheap." Silence hums through the line before Brielle laughs nervously. "Of course, I'll pay whatever it costs," Nia grins. "Yeah, I know you will." The day of Brielle's wedding rehearsal feels like an old wound reopening. Nia stands before the mirror, smoothing the hem of the new gown she designed. Rich crimson silk with gold, threading that catches every sliver of light. Tanya fusses behind her, pinning the last detail. "You sure you're ready for this?" she asks. Nia nods slowly. "Mama, I'm past ready." She looks at her reflection, no longer seeing the girl left out of the picture. She sees a woman who built her own frame. The phone buzzes. It's Khalil. "They won't know what hit him." Nia smirks. "They about to learn." Nia walks into the rehearsal venue, an upscale botanical hall dripping in white roses and designer decor. Conversations hush when she enters. Every head turns. Even the bridesmaids, perfectly manicured and pastel-coordinated, falter mid-laugh. Brielle stands frozen at the altar, champagne flute trembling in her hand. "Nia. Wow," she breathes, masking surprise with a practiced smile. Nia smiles politely back. "Didn't want to throw off your aesthetic." The subtle tension hangs heavy, beauty, power, and revenge stitched into a single glance. Brielle recovers her poise quickly. Girl, that dress is stunning, she exclaims too loudly, wrapping Naya in a perfumed hug. Cameras flash as guests whisper. You really outdid yourself, Brielle continues, voice edged with envy. Nia leans in close, her whisper, velvet soft but razor sharp. Funny. That's what happens when you stop trying to fit in. Khalil, camera in hand, catches every moment. The hug, the glare, the poise. For once, Nia isn't performing, she's arriving. As the evening unfolds, conversations shift. Guests begin asking Naya about her designs, complimenting her elegance. A local fashion editor pulls her aside, handing over a card. We'd love to feature your work next month, she says. Nia feels the words land like music. Across the room, Brielle watches, mask cracking beneath her glossed smile. Tanya catches her daughter's eye from afar, nodding once. Silent confirmation that this is the moment they prayed for. When the music softens and lights dim, Nia steps outside for air. The night hums with city sounds and faint jazz from inside. Khalil joins her, slipping his arm around her shoulder. You good? He asks. She exhales, the weight of every rejection melting into the night. Better than good, she says. They told me I wasn't aesthetic enough, but look at me now. Khalil lifts his camera, snapping one last shot. The woman who redefined beauty by becoming herself. The wedding day arrives wrapped in champagne-colored dawn and Atlanta heat. Nia wakes early, sunlight dripping through the blinds like promise. The crimson gown hangs on her closet door, gleaming softly. A silent testament to every no she ever turned into power. Tanya hums a gospel tune in the kitchen, preparing breakfast, her joy quiet but proud. You sure you still want to go? She asks. Nia smiles, slipping her arms into a silky robe. Oh, I'm not just going, Mama. I'm showing up. She glances at her reflection once more, this time with no doubt, no hesitation. Just beauty. Unfiltered, undeniable, her own. The church is a symphony of pastel elegance, everything curated for Brielle's aesthetic perfection. But when Nia walks through those doors, she doesn't blend in. She commands. Conversations hush. Cameras rise. Her crimson gown cuts through the sea of beige like royalty among mannequins. Khalil, already stationed near the aisle, catches every angle. Brielle glances over mid-photo op, her eyes widening just enough to reveal the truth. The star of the show isn't the bride. It's the woman who was never invited to shine. After the ceremony, guests swarm Nia with compliments. Where'd you get that gown? You made it. Girl, you need your own line. Even the wedding photographer pauses to ask for her card. Tanya watches from across the courtyard, her smile wide enough to touch heaven. Brielle approaches slowly, bouquet trembling slightly. You look amazing, she says, her tone softer now, almost human. Nia nods graciously. Thanks, Brielle. Guess we all found our aesthetic today. It's not venom, it's peace. Growth wrapped in satin. As the reception begins, music swells and laughter fills the room. Naya and Tanya sit at their table, sharing knowing glances between bites of cake. Khalil joins them, sliding into the seat beside Nia with that signature grin. You realize you broke the internet again, right? He says, showing her the notifications on his phone, photos of her from the ceremony, already viral. Nia chuckles. Guess I'm everyone's aesthetic now. Tanya leans in, whispering, Nah, baby, you God's design. Later that night, as the crowd thins and music fades, Nia steps outside beneath the soft hum of city lights. The moon hangs low, reflecting against the satin folds of her gown. Khalil follows, camera hanging from his neck. So what's next, superstar? He asks. Nia smiles, eyes lifting toward the skyline. Next, I make sure no girl ever feels like she gotta shrink to shine. She turns toward him, voice low and certain. I'm starting my own brand. Aesthetic enough. Khalil grins wide. And I'm shooting the campaign. The camera clicks. One last shot to seal the moment destiny caught up. A week later, Nia's apartment is alive with energy. Bolts of fabric hang from every corner. Sketches cover the walls. And Tanya hums along to Mary J. Blige while ironing a new pattern. Nia sits at her desk, laptop open, finalizing the launch site for her brand. Aesthetic enough. Orders already pile in before she's even hit publish. Khalil paces with excitement, camera still swinging from his neck. You realize this is history, right? He says. Nia glances up, smiling softly. History been waiting on girls like me. Tanya wipes her eyes, whispering, You did it, baby. Nia shakes her head. Nah, mama, we did. Within days, aesthetic enough becomes the conversation. Local news outlets run features, influencers post videos in Nia's designs, and the brand's message, you are already the look, spreads like fire. Tanya watches her daughter's interviews play on TV, wiping tears every time Nia says her name. It's not just fashion, Nia says in one clip. It's freedom stitched in fabric. For every woman who ever felt invisible, she's now the reflection they've been waiting for. At Renee's boutique downtown, a small crowd gathers for Nia's first official showcase. Models of every shape, shade, and size glide down the runway in flowing gowns and tailored suits that echo resilience and beauty. The final model steps out wearing the emerald dress, the one that started it all. The audience rises in applause. In the front row, Tanya clasps her hands together, eyes full of awe. Nia walks out last, the lights bathing her in gold. She bows, tears catching the glow, knowing she's turned pain into purpose. After the show, Brielle approaches backstage, this time without cameras or filters. I owe you an apology, she says quietly, eyes lowered. You didn't deserve what I said. Nia studies her for a moment, the echoes of old hurt fading in the warmth of the present. You were chasing perfect, Nia replies gently. I just decided to chase real. Brielle nods, tears forming. Your real changed the game. Nia hugs her, not out of pity, but peace. We all just trying to fit somewhere, she says. I just found my own frame. Late that night, Nia returns home. The city sleeps, but her sewing machine hums quietly, like an old friend. She sits before it, tracing her fingers along the edge of new fabric. This one, gold, shimmering like dawn. Tanya's voice echoes faintly from the kitchen, humming the same gospel tune from the beginning. Khalil walks in, wrapping his arms around her from behind. What you making now? He murmurs. Nia smiles, eyes steady on the cloth. The future. She presses her foot on the pedal, and the needle begins its steady rhythm, one that sounds a lot like destiny keeping time.